At this Adelaide street circuit, 3.2 kilometres, 13 turns of action.
And plenty of places where you can get yourself in trouble. Turn 1 and 2, notorious for claiming some V8 Ute casualties. Plenty of high speed, no aero kits on these cars, so they'll get plenty sideways around here.
The hairpins at turns 9 and 13, great passing opportunities as well.
And we're going to see really who has the mumbo here today on those long straightaways. Will it be the Fords or the Holdens that'll have the advantage?
Well, we're going to find out. This is the first round for 2007 in the Yokohama V8 Ute Series. Let's take a look at the onboards. Grant Johnson, the Western Australian in the PEX machine. Kim Jane, the former NASCAR champ, with a lovely open-face helmet there.
Yes, he's very Brock-esque, isn't it, the open-face look there. Jack Elsgood, look, he's smiling already, Jack Elsgood. And a man with a lot of people expecting a win here today, Gary Chucky Baxter, and Chris Pither in there as well. But the man who surprised everybody in qualifying was Ryle Harris.
Not bad for a guy who's been out of V8 Ute racing for 12 months.
Absolutely, and a guy that probably lacks a little in the sponsorship stakes could use a big result here this weekend.
Giannis Derham's back there on row 4 with Darren Palmer. Some good young guns, Matt Kingsley and Craig Dontis, the local driver, driving for Big Gun Racing. Jack Elsgood, a lot further back in the pack that we've come to expect him in 13.
Racing with a broken foot this weekend, Aaron, so he's going from the clutch to the crutch.
Dennis Criven back there from 20th, George Elliott from 21, and a rookie, Shannon Sidebottom, moves from Future Touring into the V8 Utes, and Charlie Kovacs, problems in qualifying. He's got to come from the back of the pack.
Massive crash for him early on. It hurt the power steering unit. They've had plenty of work to do. What a fantastic lineup here. Aaron, it's going to be an awesome race one.
A couple of young guns on the front row of the grid. Ryle Harrison, the Kiwi, Chris Pither, back in the Kangaroos team this year after a spell in the Fujitsu V8 Supercar Series. But the two youngsters are going to square off. They've got the championship-winning car behind them with Leighton Cranbrook behind the wheel. But it's Ryle Harris who gets 2007 off to the perfect start.
How do we get a Ford and a Holden on the front row like that, Aaron? Isn't that amazing?
Good planning.
Pither on the inside run, as you said, the Kiwi with a lot of talent, trying to break into development racing with the Kangaroos outfit. Big charge on the outside by Matt Kingsley. This young man came out of Lotus Racing. Pretty impressive youngster. And
the temperatures on track, Wade, are absolutely stifling. 41 degrees on track. What's it like in one of these things?
Perfect. They've got air conditioning units in these cars. As you know, it's fundamentally what you drive off the showroom with, of course, some performance mods and some serious roll cage technology. But the guys even have their stereos currently working in the cars. Stephen Robinson back in the Vanuatu land car, back after a couple of years away from the Gold Coast. A good handy racer. Absolutely.
He's been very strong in previous years in this class. 8 laps for the first of 3 races this weekend, and Ryle Harris starting to push clear through turn 8, not afraid of the cold tyres that usually occur at this time of the race. The Yokohamas are up to temp.
Well, they're going to push them to the absolute limit today, Aaron. You know that. They always do. They are, of course, the V8 Utes will be right on board. The Pex Berkeley on board of Grant Johnson, the Sandgroper, who was very stout in last year's championship. The best performed Holden is back for another shot in the Grove Fruit Juices entry. Oh, look at this, just a typical corner in V8 Ute Racing. Baxter off to the right there, the advanced driving instructor who's doing a bit of stunt work in a Hollywood film at the moment.
Oh, good fight there. Look at Baxter up on the curb, a local who really wants to get a win here. Oh, Kim Jane, there's contact.
Fair bump, play on. Baxter in the Sprint Gas Unigas entry. Oh, look at Kim. Doesn't look very happy, does he?
No.
Well, he's got the new Bob Jane sponsorship on board for this year. We've got a problem too. A car has stopped on the main straightaway there.
Yeah, we're hearing that's George Mediki, who unfortunately has broken a tail shaft, but the Yokohama replay shows that touch between Gary Baxter and Kim Jane. Surely that's got to have done some damage.
How it didn't cut down the Yokohama of Jane himself, I don't know, but look at this run from Baxter now, up the inside on the Kangaroos entry, and now you see Kingsley on the inside. Oh, we're 3 wide here. That's nice.
Oh, well, that's convenient. Kim Jane, though, is the big loser. He's on the outside of turn. We said turn 9 would be a place where a lot of passing would occur, and these guys have a controlled tyre, a controlled brake. There's not too much that you actually have different on these machines.
No, you can't get a lot out of them fundamentally than what you've given as a basic setup, which is why this category works so well, Aaron. Sure, people try to push the envelope. Sometimes people get fined for licking the envelope occasionally, but you have to go hard. And look at that, a good run from Excalibur. Giannis Derham's, oh, Robinson, tail out. We're right on board with the Cooper's Pale Ale team.
Jack Elsgood doing a good job starting to fight his way through the field. I can't remember him starting that far back in a Ute field for light years, really.
No, he's had some dramas. There's no doubt about that. He's got a broken foot, and that wouldn't be helping, and even Jack wouldn't be claiming that as an excuse. But, oh, what was that? A wheel coming off.
That was...
someone's wheel.
Well, it's a Yokohama, we know that much, but whose is it? That's the question.
Up against the wall, out of the harm's way. Or is it?
That's a leader. That's Ryle Harris.
Is everybody out of the way? Nandy Kisser to jump on the brakes. You're right, Harris. You don't have to be dead to be stiff.
Wow, we were just saying how he was pulling away. There he is. The car is at turn 4 in the escape road, and, well, it could bring out a safety car. Let's have a look at the Yokohama replay.
Man, the billet construction, billet products entry just got off to the side. It was the left front wheel, and it just came straight off.
So he's continued all the way from turn 3 down to 4. And look at that wheel. It nearly got Grant Johnson. Amazing that he didn't make contact. Here's the view from on board with Johnson. There goes the tyre.
Everyone's been used to being fed a wheel in ute racing, but not without the car attached to it.
That's just taking things to new extremes.
It is, isn't it? There is Colin Dunn scooting by in the Hungry Jack's entry. This is the Vanuatu land. Someone got it. It was Nandy, I think. Drilled it.
Absolutely scored with that one. 6 points, but Gary Baxter fighting through in the pacemaker on board as he runs up the inside. That's a grab on Grant Johnson through the chicane. A really good move, and he's starting to work his way through the field. He looks like he's got some pace.
It's his home circuit, Aaron. He's always looking forward to a big result here in South Australia. He's got a new sponsor on board in Sprint Gas and looking for a big performance.
We'll be back with more action from race 1 of the Yokohama V8 Utes powered by Freightliner after the break. You're watching the V8 Utes here on the streets of Adelaide, right here on 7, and the racing continues right throughout the pack. The first of 3 races this weekend, and Wade Charlie Kovacs, car 69, he's involved in everything.
Handlebars Kovacs, he's known, Aaron, as affable South Australian who at one point held the Guinness Book of Records for the highest speed ever clocked with a caravan behind an EA Ford. I think it was like 204 kilometres an hour. He needs a bit more than that to get past Nandy here in the JFTA car.
There's the update. Leighton Cranbrook leads the way.
Oh!
There's more rubbing between these two. Nandy Kiss started at the back of the field after being excluded for running underweight during qualifying, and he just lost some more weight there.
Yes, he's got some trouble too. He's starting to slow right up as Corkery tries to get by him. But how about Leighton Cranbrook? We're on board. The pacemaker header's on board. Look at this. Baxter right behind Cranbrook.
This is the fight for the lead. Leighton Cranbrook, the former V8 driver who's taken over the championship-winning car of Marcus Sukanovic from last year. He's upholding the Ford Honour at the moment, but the Holden's coming.
Yeah, the 2006 Australian HQ champion as well. But I just saw a lot of smoke out the back of Gary Baxter's Holden. There it is again. A puff of blue smoke. I don't think that's Yokohama smoke. I think he's got engine issues.
That could be a real issue. Remember, it's very, very warm here in Adelaide, and the engine temperatures, I'd hate to think what some of the dials are showing.
Well, I'd hate to think that any of them are paying any attention. The DBA on board now for Chris Pother, the kid from New Zealand, in the Kangaloota's Ryko Hoses entry. And here comes Matty Kingsley, the Action Tyres and More entry out of the Lotus Series, running very well in his second full season with the Utes.
The Yokohama replay shows Kingsley sideways after a touch there from Giannis Derhams, the second of the Kangaloota's machines. Oof. And here's the replay of the 2 rubs there. They say rubbing's racing, and I guess that was racing.
Price check on a left side Holden mirror. Price check on a left side Holden mirror. Look at Johnson now right behind Baxter, who's on the ropes. South Australian up against the West Aussie, and a Northern Territorian leading them all, a former sprint car driver.
Who said this wasn't a national championship?
Absolutely. Oh, just then, bit of contact. The Grove Fruit Juice's entry of Johnson trying to come through. Baxter's got issues.
Yeah, he absolutely does, because Johnson's rounded him up on the outside of turn 11, which normally isn't the done thing, but Leighton Cranbrook, with 1 to go, has pretty much got this one in the bag.
Well, he's done a wonderful job. He's surprised everybody in his first performance in the V8 Ute. Ironically, he and Gary Baxter shared a car at the Mountain a couple of years ago, and Chucky can't quite get past the young fella now.
Now, this is a really good dice, because this is critical to race 2, because this is the fight for 16th, and if you finish 16th in this race, you get the pole for the next race.
That's right. It's an inverted field in the top 50% of the field. So where in any other form of motorsport, Aaron, would you be looking to race for 15th and 16th position? You're on the front row. And Warren Millett right now looking to start on pole for race 2.
We're on our way towards the checkered flag. There's smoke pouring out of all these cars. Nandy Kiss has got problems with not just the bumper, but the engine as well, which is a real worry with 1 to go.
Well, as you said, these searing on-track temperatures are playing their role, and Kiss is in trouble. The JFTA Petrochemicals entry the man who basically owns a transport company that shipped all of Robbie Williams' concert sound and lighting across Australia, has ground to a halt.
Someone turned the audio board off that car, I'm afraid.
There's no more Let Me Entertain You, that's for sure. He's come undone.
No, Warren Millett here. This is the good fight with Steve Hodges. They're going for pole, would you believe it? In fact, it's 16th, but it's pole for the next race.
And the man right behind him in the blue Ford, the BBC entry out of Billy Nudgell in New South Wales, Captain Rob Jarvis, a helicopter pilot. He too could get up on the front row. Here's the battle for the lead, though. What a battle it is. Darwin up against Western Australia.
Ford versus Holden. Leighton Cranbrook, the leader. Grant Johnson, who was so strong here on the streets of Adelaide and indeed throughout the whole championship last year. Oh, the pacemaker headers on board shows Gary Baxter with a Holden that sounds like the lights have gone out.
Yeah, definitely trouble for Chucky there. Here's the last corner, though, Aaron. The youngster in his rookie drive.
Great performance by the Ford boy. Leighton Cranbrook's going to bring it home. Grant Johnson had a look at turn 13, but to Ford go the spoils in the first race for V8 Utes in 2007. That was a great race. There was plenty going on. I dare say there's some very tired and hot drivers.
Oh, and tired and hot motors as well. Matt Kingsley with a good drive. Darren Palmer, one of his career bests. And look back there, Craig Dontis, a twin. Young South Aussie's doing a wonderful job. He finishes up 6th. Elsgood soldiered back to 7th with a broken foot.
The Yokohama Freightliner scoreboard shows Kim Jane, who was involved in all sorts of drama. He still managed to bring home the Holden in position 10. That'll give him a good starting point for race number 2. But a man with a great starting point, Warren Millett from 16th, he's got pole.
Well, our winner in race 1, Leighton Cranbrook's lucky to be here. He's with Brian Ingerson now.
We had a few problems in practice, missing a session, and to bounce back for a win was excellent.
How are the conditions out there for you?
It was tough. There was pressure there the whole time from Gary Baxter and Grant Johnson, and nobody made it easy for me, but the car held into the end and allowed us to stay there for the checkered flag.